believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Good evening. Welcome to the land of total collusion. Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David Sponheim. Good evening. Yeah, we are living in a country that's been controlled by foreign investors, if you will. Zionist elitists who have dominated our government for a long, long time, surrounded themselves around Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, now Trump, surrounded by many of these people. Many of them are Ashkenazis, and many people don't realize Ashkenazis were the same kind of people that surrounded Hitler during the 1930s, ergo the name Nazi. So we're still dealing with the threat of Nazi takeover, and they have embedded themselves so deeply that they're covering their tracks now on how they rigged the election. Even the president won't even admit the election was rigged in his favor. The FBI told him 2 days before the inauguration that the FBI literally told him that it was rigged, and he didn't say a thing. He hasn't said anything. He still contends it's all Russian collusion, all Russian hoax is what it is. And now we've got threats from Russia. They're attacking Venezuela. They're sending troops in. And Trump is saying, I'm not going to stand for that. Well, Trump, you can't stand up to Russia because they own you, okay? And you won't even admit it to the American people. That's how weak you are. Now, Hillary would have been worse, obviously, because she's clearly got her own agenda, and it's not too pretty. But Donald likes money, and he'll do anything for money. He'll do whatever it takes. So that's why he's completely controlled by Russia. Russia loaned him a lot of money, actually gifted him a lot of money. Deutsche Bank loaned him $1 billion, which he still owes, and he wanted more when he first became president. Well, they're attacking Venezuela. They're bringing people in. Yeah, Venezuela and our attempt to do an economic hit on their country isn't working, and Guaido hasn't been elevated to the power of presidency. Now, the official word from the Western government is that Venezuela is under an improper leader, Maduro. And now We have to assume that Russia is attacking Venezuela. So Donald Trump is going to do everything he can to stop it. So he'll make a phone call to Vladimir Putin on his private cell phone, which the NSA can't even listen to. If you didn't know that, but Donald Trump has a private cell phone. He makes calls all the time to people. Well, now he's probably going to call Vladimir Putin and ask him, "Oh, Vladimir, where do I put my troops so that there'll be most damage to our people? How can I do this?" He'll ask for approval. Or he'll call his friend
I think
Kissinger.
that we're going to do very well with respect to Syria. I think things are about Russia, and everybody knows Dr. Kissinger, and we're right now talking about Russia.
Why did he call in Dr. Kissinger and talk about Russia after he met with a Russian diplomat secretly, and the TASS news service had video of it, but we have never seen it? How come our government and Mueller didn't bother to investigate Donald Trump's private conversations with the Russians? Mueller never requested the video from TASS. So Mueller didn't do his job. Mueller didn't even bother investigating the 10 years of tax returns that Trump said that he'd gladly show everybody. He didn't even bother asking us for a subpoena to see the 10 years, which would have shown collusion with Russia. And how did he have all these people that virtually came in? Page, Papadopoulos, Manafort, Flynn, Stone, Cohen, Kushner, and Donald Jr., all of these Trump associates met with Russia, yet somehow Mueller said that there's no collusion. Really? I find that hard to believe. No collusion, it's all Russian hoax. And now all these people in the media are reeling from their statements about the Russian collusion, and they're trying to cover their ass. All these paper ass people in the media, I could only imagine how they're regrouping their theories that, oh, we're very sorry. Late night hosts apologized to Trump after Mueller reports clear the president of Russian collusion. There's nothing clear about this. Mueller is in on it. I have it on pretty good authority that Mueller is loving the money. That's right, loving the money. Giuliani said that he got $30 million. Apparently he got bought off. It's that simple. It's not the first time that Mueller has been bought off. Remember when he signed off on the 9/11 Commission report, which clearly covered up all the explosions that occurred at the 9/11 attack, which we still don't know who killed 2,996 people. He signed off on it saying it was perfectly fine. Mueller is buyable. William Barr wrote a 19-page letter to Rod Rosenstein trying to ask him not to investigate any obstruction charges and also drop any investigation of Michael Flynn. Well, we found out after that Michael Flynn was working for Russia and needed to be fired. It's just crazy. Now, the Huawei representative CEO is being held by Canada for prosecution. I'm pretty serious that this is a big mistake. If we are going up against China and the Huawei 5G network and the CFO, Meng, who's been arrested and has a $10 million or $40 million bail, something like ridiculous, we need to back off. Donald Trump's not going to make any progress with trade talks with China until he pulls back from this hard position he's taken against Meng. Dave, you got a healthy look. What's your secret? Well, I maintain an incredible diet of organic, non-GMO food where I actually cook amazingly great meals for next to nothing, teaching people how to do that on Thursday. Now, occasionally I'll eat genetically modified food, of course. Like I'm having some turkey bacon wrapped in chicken tomorrow. The chicken is non-GMO and no hormones or additives. And the turkey bacon is no nitrates or anything, but it's not, you can't always know what you're eating. I don't consume MSG and nitrates when I can avoid it. Yeah. Well, this is turkey bacon, and the chicken will be made together. You'll have rolled chicken wrapped in bacon. That's what we're making tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm going to be making with. Maybe some good old-fashioned Red Bliss potatoes or something like that. Fried potatoes, I don't know. Mac Daddy. Mad Dog, I don't believe that Donald Trump is going to be an issue. He is systematically doing whatever Russia tells him to do. So the more he does that, the more likely the American people will realize that we're going down the wrong road. Comey said Trump obstructed justice by firing him in an interview today. Comey's right. I agree. Thanks, ATP Giraffe. Yeah, Comey cannot be fired when he was investigating Trump on the Russian charges. Trump theoretically could have fired him for any number of other reasons, but he finally said that he just wanted to end this Russian thing. It was something he was really working on slowly. Well, it was a series of things that he said that just, constantly remind people of what was on Trump's mind. He changed his position 3 times the day he fired James Comey. He went all over the place.
Democrats, for having lost an election, was going to fire Comey. And in fact, when I decided to just do it, I said to myself, I said, this Russia thing with Trump and Russia is a made-up story. It's an excuse by the Democrats for having lost an election. He's a showboat. He's a grandstander. The FBI has been in turmoil. You know that.
Again, coming up with reasons to fire him after he made that statement is inexcusable. It's obstruction by definition. When I say total obstruction or it's total collusion, I mean it. Our country is under the control of Zionist elitists that are actually controlling Russia too. Russians themselves are aware of the corruption in their country, and they're aware that Vladimir Putin is not giving them what they want. You know what he just announced? Putin announced that the retirement age is really the same age as your death. The average death when you die in Russia is the same age that you can start collecting retirement. That did not make a lot of Russians happy. His chance of re-election is growing smaller and smaller every year. And he's got competitors that if he allows to compete against him, like Navalny, would actually beat him in an election head out. It isn't clear that Smollett did what he did under the advice of Obama. No, we found out tonight that George Soros was funding this entire operation. It turns out Jussie Smollett got off of all charges and everything removed from his record when Michelle Obama made a phone call. That's right. Michelle Obama knew Jussie Smollett very well, and Michelle, former Chief of Staff Tina Chen, reached out to Kim Foxx about the Smollett case. This is now under investigation. But there's a more important issue that is being held back, which is George Soros is involved. Believe it or not, George Soros is at the center of this nightmare that's kind of rolling forward. Let's take a look at this clip from One America News Network.
Who dropped all charges against actor Jussie Smollett, received a massive donation from leftist billionaire George Soros. One America's Pearson Sharp has that report.
The shocking news that prosecutors dismissed the charges against actor Jussie Smollett for staging a hate crime against himself may not be so shocking after all. As it turns out, the radical left-wing billionaire George Soros made a huge contribution to a 2016 super PAC in support of state attorney Kim Foxx, the same attorney who suddenly dropped all 16 felony charges against Smollett. After the charges were dropped, conservative commentator Ann Coulter claimed it made sense because Fox was put there with a $400,000 donation from George Soros. Soros is known for dumping tens of millions of dollars into local district attorneys' races around the country, backing progressive and hard-left candidates who are soft on crime. Campaign finance records from Illinois reveal Soros donated $333,000 of his own personal money to Fox's super PAC and an additional $75,000 after she won. Police had accused the 36-year-old Smollett of faking an attack on himself and then blaming it on white, homophobic Trump supporters. Superintendent Eddie Johnson of the Chicago Police claims Smollett took advantage of the pain and anger of racism simply so he could promote his career.
Do I think justice was served? No. Where do I think justice is? I think this city is still owed an apology.
Smollett's
More than an apology, we need an oversight. Yeah, we need an oversight by a federal grand jury into this event. Michelle can't rig a case to release a friend of hers. Sorry, doesn't work that way. One of the reasons why our country is so far down this road of corruption is we haven't stopped the corruption when it started. When Michelle Obama pretended to, she pretended to be a woman all those years, 8 years, and even Joan Rivers outed her and then died suspiciously under suspicious circumstances. We never got accountability from the New World Order puppet president Barack Obama with his transgender wife Michelle. Now, I don't have to go into detail to explain this. You have to leave your name in order to get through. Yeah, I have to hear who you are if you want to get a call through. It's 707 your ATP. You can call me anytime during our show. Well, we need an investigation into her involvement with the Smollett case. We know that this woman who clearly has a penis, it doesn't take a genius to realize that what you're looking at in this Ellen DeGeneres video was not doctored, shows with emphatic truth that Michelle Obama's rolling out with a penis and a testicle here. When she's dancing, it's moving around. So, yeah. People say, David, there's a penis hanging over your face on UHF. Yeah, well, that was Michelle Obama's penis. And I put it there. Okay, go ahead. Let's see who you are. No, you have to leave your name. I won't pick up your call unless you leave your name. So we never solved the problem with this woman or man. We certainly didn't, deal with George Soros when he was setting up riots in Baltimore and Ferguson, paying all kinds of people to do that. So we've had very little accountability from our government. And because of that, we have all this corruption rolling out in different directions. That's what's happening right now. If you deny that that's a penis and a testicle, then I feel sorry for you. Your eyes don't work. Michelle was so cavalier in his approach that he didn't care. I think he just jumped on, put some sweatsuits on, and started dancing with Ellen DeGeneres. I mean, it was a transgender moment, LGBTQ moment, Okay. Trav, what's your question? Go ahead. What's your question, man? Yeah. God. You got to act normal, too, to get through. If you come on sounding like a pervert, I'm not going to take your call. Lewis, I'm afraid you're wrong. You just lost the account, Lewis Undergash K. We don't need people who claim to be professional faggots. I mean, really. I don't even like that word. It's very derogatory toward homosexual men. And I'm straight, so I'm glad you understand that that's not appropriate here. It's not appropriate to call a homosexual man a faggot. You can call a cigarette a faggot. In England, they call cigarettes faggots all the time. I don't like the F word. I appreciate if you wouldn't call anybody faggots here. Thank you. I don't hate faggots. I just don't like the word faggot. So please don't use the word faggot. Thank you. All right, moving on. What's going on, baby? You want to talk about your love affair of Ocasio-Cortez? Okay, baby. She needs to trim the hair in her ear, I think. I just think a lot of you are obsessed with sexuality. It's like humans have become sidetracked. manipulated. Sex is everything to you. You care about two things: sex and death. Death and sex and death. That's all you think about. So consequently, your movies are all filled with porn and eroticism and sex. And they're playing you. They're manipulating you with that. You know who is giving you free porn out there on the internet? The Ashkenazis. The free porn sites are owned entirely by Ashkenazis. That's one of the ways they weaken you, by making you turn into a masturbatory joke of a person. You're wasting your precious bodily fluids by masturbating all the time. Now, today is Wasteful Wednesday, so I might as well talk about your wasteful bodily fluids, you know. Sex is a small part of life. You have children with sex. You seem to enjoy it. It doesn't have to be your fixation. One of the secrets in tantric sex, which is, of course, an amazing study of pleasure, is the entire sexual experience can be delayed to enhance your creativity. So holding away from sex is actually giving you more sexual energy to do creative things that'll help you. Like enjoying your life, you know, and finding out the little things in life that make it worthwhile, not thinking about your little penis. You know? Hey, let's play the short version of Mr. Right. Shall we? Do. Yeah, here it is. 1, 2, 3, Mr. Right.
You're Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true. You spin my world around, 'cause you're the peace I finally found. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, 'cause you make me melt away. You're Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true.
So if you don't get away from this excessive masturbation, you'll never understand what your creative potential could be. Now, I realize, running for office these many, many cycles, that I needed to have enough energy to pull this off, not pull something else off. So I wanted to, you know, focus my energy on politics as opposed to talking about sex, but the environment that you humans are living in is so filled with lust and carnality that all you want to think about is what another person looks like under their clothes, even though you've seen pictures of other women or men naked. But you're so fascinated by it, you can't help but watch more. Hi. All right. No, I'm not interested in reenacting an Elvis experience. Thank you. Speaking of masturbation, you're going to be back in 10 minutes? Oh, okay. My number is 707 your ATP, but nobody can get through because no one has a brain to call. Most of you don't even have the ability to convert the letters your ATP to numbers. That's too difficult for you now. Well, I think politics should transcend sex, but here we are going back and looking at all the things you care about, which is, you know, sex. You've been played, man. Everything in your life is turned upside down because you have been played. Your brain has been diverted. Now, some of us are in sync with what's happening and are in there talking and sharing. My beautiful cat, Fluffy. Yeah, go ahead. What's your question? Hi. Hi. All right, so any other questions, feel free to call. We do block your number if you're a scumbag. If you'd like, we can talk about Jussie Smollett and how he got off his charges with Michelle Obama's help and George Soros's help. But why waste our time? We can talk instead about Michael Avenatti. He's out on bail, but he is being prosecuted for allegedly extorting money from Nike. And Tucker Carlson is gloating like I've never seen him.
Yeah, speaking Tammy Bruce, president of Independence Women's Voice. She's not foolish at all, and she joins us tonight. So occasionally, Tammy, as you know, we like to just, things are moving so fast here in Washington, it's good to just pause and remember what the world looked like 6 months ago.
Yes.
People were touting this man as the women's candidate.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
The only thing missing from Mr. Avenatti's lineup there is that he hasn't eaten dirt yet. I mean, maybe he can add that in and steal a little bit of that from Robert
time.
Francis. He's got some time. Look, what I really enjoyed and what was very important about your initial coverage of this fool was the fact that he appeared to be exploiting one of his clients, Stormy Daniels, right? Is that he was making money from her and she was reduced to doing tours of strip clubs in the process of him representing her. And that's what it spoke to. It spoke to issues
But if I
of
can just
character.
pause, he did, and I said that to him, and I've always felt sorry for her.
Right.
I've never doubted most of her story, just for the record. I'm not embarrassed to say that.
Right.
And I feel bad for her. And I said that to him, and he said that her stripping in some sad club in Richmond, Virginia was an act of female empowerment.
Right.
He actually said that.
Yeah.
Wow. We should pull up that clip of Tucker Carlson ragging on women. That would be really good to run the juxtaposition there. Hello, Huawei. Welcome. We have a Huawei brand representative here. Hey, what's going on? As you know, we cannot violate the Logan Act, but I can tell you that my impression of Meng being arrested for simply selling telecommunications to Iran, that's ridiculous. Why would we arrest her for that? Why would we arrest it? So you've got to question yourself. If I can provide some support for Meng, I think I can arrange a new mobile phone. Ah, that's funny. Well, don't worry about me. I'm openly offended by the fact that Donald Trump has taken my ideas, like not signing the treaty with Iran, and not listening to my other ideas of not extending economic sanctions against Iran, but rather giving them vouchers for certain areas like telecommunications. We wouldn't be having this problem. We would be actually evolving as a nation. We would be growing forward with trade negotiations with China. Neither China nor the U.S. would miss a beat. We'd still continue doing good trade. So I think we have to look at the fact that Donald Trump doesn't really understand what I'm saying most of the time when he steals my ideas. And he's unable to actually... Oh, we have a call from a Chinese person. Okay, go ahead. Hello, Chang? Are you there? Hi, what can I do for you? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not allowed to talk to you, though, in China. Sorry. Are you Ching Chong? You used to contact us a lot in the show. Is that your name, Ching Chong? Okay. So you are calling somehow, you managed to get through the U.S. Google service through some way of dialing out? Because I understand China can't reach us by phone. Good. Thank you so much for calling. Well, as you know, this is a private call. Thank you so much. They love us in China. Thank you. All right, take care. Okay. Florida inmate punches the public defender in head during court hearing. Shocking video. No, I didn't talk to anybody from China. I was kidding. No. Notice how you didn't hear who was on the other line? Yeah.
Secondly, I would note that we've actually, the state has made a determination to file both charges as presented. This law enforcement has provided, as you can see, this arrest warrant was signed in December, so the state attorney's office has provided copies of the reports. I would also note that provided...
Whoa!
What happened? What just happened?
Wow.
So note that provided... So the state attorney's office has provided copies of the reports. I would also note that provided.
Whoa, that's terrible.
What happened?
Rampant violence. Okay, I think we've seen enough. That judge needs to have protection. When you have a bunch of prisoners sitting there and you got your prosecuting attorney sitting there and there's nobody standing between, I mean, these courts are run like kangaroo courts. You might as well put kangaroos in there. Yes. Huawei is trying to access the VPN of the person that called. I can't verify whether that was Chinese or not. It sounded like somebody pretending to be Chinese. Yeah. I only muted him for 5 minutes because he was promoting Pat Buchanan. Yeah. And he claimed Pat Buchanan at 190 IQ. I mean, come on. Pat Buchanan's sporting maybe 120. Another brother, you're here. Okay. Kind of look like he's in his studio apartment, and he kind of looks like he's... There he is. Look at that. I like your background. That's cool. Wow. So what? You're overseas, right? You're in Taiwan.
You're overseas, right? You're in Taiwan.
He doesn't realize we have audio. Okay. We have talked about Monica Lewinsky, haven't we? Let me bring up Monica Lewinsky. We haven't talked about her. She is on record talking openly about how she feels like she should have been treated the same way. Monica Lewinsky. Yes, Barry, go ahead. What's your question? Good, yeah. What's the question, Barry? We've got a show every Thursday at 5 o'clock, the cooking show. It's pretty interesting. I save money on cooking. I show you guys how to economize, save a lot of money. 5 o'clock. Yeah. Tomorrow. Yeah. Short? No, I'm very tall. I'm 6'4". No, I'm not stressed. I get a lot of people calling up illegally, and trolling me. And look what she said. Monica said, "If effing only." She used the words "if effing only," and she's implying if Clinton had got the William Barr summary treatment, she never would have had a problem. Yeah. So apparently William Barr rigged it for the Russians. Well, do you have any other questions about the cooking show, Barry? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you the link here. Before I get into that, let's go to America's Third Party. I'll show you guys how to get to our site. Yeah, we've got a store where we offer the book, and you go to the site right there, and then you go down here and you go to our store, and you'll see the book right there, and that's the Kindle copy of Hybrid Capitalism. 99 cents, or you can get a paperback for $14.99. All right. Is the paperback what? It's a standard paperback with a stiff backing. Yeah, it's a soft cover basically, but it's decent. No, I don't sign anything anymore. Sorry. All right. Okay, Barry, thanks for calling. I'll let your call come in next time. So you seem like a real person. Thank you. He's been on, folks, and he's watching us, and it's a real call. It's amazing. Thank you. All right, take it easy. Later. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to get real calls. We're hoping we get more real calls from people as time goes on, because I've been doing this for 10 years and I've had mostly trolls call me. And even in our radio show, which we ran for 200 shows, I had the only guy that literally had anything to say was a guy called the Boogeyman, and he had a speech defect. Okay, upcoming book, horrible. Barbara Bush blames Trump for her heart attack. Wow. I believe it. She was just terribly upset when Jeb Bush was victimized by the Trump mouth. If I'd been put in the race, I would have ripped a new one and, showed Trump how completely full of BS he is. I will put the callers on speakerphone when we find out they're real callers. But I get so many trolls that oftentimes I have to go in and change the entire system. If, in fact, I get a bad call, I have to go in and actually clean it up. So Monica Lewinsky is on record saying, if effing only Clinton had got the William Barr summary treatment. Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton's most famous former White House intern, had a few choice words about the publication of special counsel's report. I guess she wishes that she had been treated the same way by corrupt Russians who blocked all access to the truth. If you don't recognize that Donald Trump is getting special favor by Mueller, and that Mueller made $30 million, according to Rudy Giuliani, to do this, then you don't understand the real meaning of total collusion. Because Mueller had every opportunity to pursue the Manafort money laundering case, and he gave it up. He just flat out gave up the money laundering case. That would have showed direct collusion between Donald Trump and Russians. Because they estimate Donald Trump made about $109 million off of overpriced sales of houses in and around Florida. And let's not forget, the Democrats are investigating Cindy Yang, who purchased a $30 million house from Donald Trump when he needed cash fast. Right after Deutsche Bank turned Donald Trump down for an extension on his $1 billion loan when he became president, Cindy Yang came through with $30 million, like that. And then she bragged about her access to the president, which is illegal. Pay for play is illegal. The president can't give access. You know, the most striking missing area in this report that we haven't seen is the lack of transparency Mueller is having with the money from Michael Cohen to Donald Trump. The money from Paul Manafort to Donald Trump. There's no mention of that. Of course, we haven't even seen the report, but there's been no mention of it at all. The Democrats were only doing what they wanted to do to, win against Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump went out of his way to go ahead and meet with Russians. In fact, he solicited Russians. Russia, if you're listening, I want all of the emails from Hillary Clinton. That's espionage. Donald Trump committed espionage in front of the American people before the election when he ordered Russia's information to be brought forth against his counterpart, Hillary Clinton. So if Hillary Clinton was paying for the dossier, or maybe John McCain was paying for the dossier, it doesn't matter. Like I said, that's immaterial. The dossier is still very real. Now, something came up in the news today that was very interesting. Now, William Barr acts like this whole thing's wrapped up. But according to the media, it's not. In fact, Robert Mueller passed off all the files to another grand jury investigation, and it's continuing. And they are not ruling out that they will find more information that will implicate Donald Trump. It's not over yet, folks. And even Barr was caught with the egg in his face on that one. I do believe that the PP tape does exist. And more importantly, I believe that the sex selfie that was written in the inventory of all of Mueller's files when Concord Management and Consulting sued Robert Mueller back, because they were one of the 12 companies that were sued, Russian companies. They sued him back, and they got a list of the inventory. In it was a sex selfie of Donald Trump. So there's a sex selfie at play. There's a PP tape at play. We know the dossier is 85 to 95% real because Oleg Erevenkin died handing it over. Putin got rid of him. Why would Putin have gotten rid of Oleg Erevenkin if the dossier was not real? This guy was executed on Boxing Day in Moscow in 2016. The mystery of the death of ex-KGB chief linked to the MI6 spy dossier on Donald Trump. If you want evidence, there's more than enough evidence. This guy was killed because he handed something over. If the dossier doesn't have anything legitimate, why was he killed? No, I don't party with anybody, except here every night. Okay, it's 8 prototype walls. Maxed Out Credit has pictures of these things. You know, Trump is so out of it that he actually had these things constructed and then they had them deconstructed. I would have had them constructed side by side at the border so they'd actually have a purpose. But he had them constructed and then deconstructed and then moved. None of these can get close to our idea of a 1,000-mile container wall. The slat fence idea, they can scale. And it's pretty serious when they're able to scale a slat fence. So I've been talking about the 1,000-mile container fence for some time. And I don't mind bringing it up every night if I have to. Okay, Raleigh, what's your question? I'm listening. Yeah. Okay, Raleigh. What's the question? Okay, Roy. What's the question, Roy? Jeez. Okay, Monsanto must pay California man $80 million in the case tying weed killer to cancer. This is a judgment that will probably be reduced to about $14.55. Remember the last judgment that the guy got $289 million and a California judge reduced it to $78 million? Well, now the judgment's for $80 million. We'll see if these people can get their just due. Edwin Hardman sits with his wife Mary at news conference. The 70-year-old California man was awarded. The 70-year-old California man was awarded $80 million in damages over his claim that a weed killer causes cancer, and they agreed. The 6-person jury in San Francisco returned the amount for Edwin Hardman on Wednesday. The same jury previously found that Roundup weed killer was a substantial factor in his non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. All right. Game of Thrones star, yes. All right. I don't really want to talk about her sexuality. Thank you. Well, I'm glad they're getting some money. Hopefully they'll enjoy the whatever the judgment is. You know the reason why the other Roundup judgment was reduced from $289 million down to $78 million? This is a real story. I'm not making this up. According to the judge, the prosecutor stated something that they didn't know was true. He said to the jury in the closing arguments that Monsanto, if they don't get a strong judgment against them, would be popping corks on their champagne bottles and drinking champagne. The judge claimed that that was an inappropriate word, and therefore she threw out $200 million in the judgment. She said there's no way you would know that Monsanto had champagne in their possession. That was her reasoning. There's no way that anyone would know if Monsanto had champagne to pop cork bottles. I couldn't believe it. This is judicial malpractice by the judge. It's crazy how these rulings are being overturned. So I anticipate their $80 million will be adjusted. Trump is saying that he's going to make an executive order so that this will never happen to a president again. Public media disclosure of such baseless accusations is damaging for the whole USA mainstream credibility. The only thing damaging about Donald Trump is the fact that he's so deeply involved with Russia to this day. The most damaging thing about Donald Trump is he never took notes from any of his meetings with Vladimir Putin when he knew he was under investigation. And what's even more damaging is the fact that he received money from them coming into the election that is now seemingly directed through companies like the NRA. That's right. Maria Butina was a conduit and may very well have moved Russian money into the hands of Donald Trump through the NRA. That's a possibility. No, the container wall is just designed to forget the space behind you. It's just to talk about the container wall. All these containers stacked up against each other too high, going 1,000 miles, protecting the area that's not covered by the river, the Rio Grande, would cost a total of $1 billion to install. The actual container costs are under 528. Yeah. Hey, I've got to play something for you here that tells you about our show and what we're all about. Here it is. Check it out. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the show. As you know, we are being attacked on a nightly basis by various people. Tom, I had to drop it back to 500 because we found out Kamala Harris was not offering 500 in cash. She was offering a $500 tax credit per month. I'm just as upset as you are.
Obama and Larry Sinclair.
You know, many people don't realize that Obama was talked about by Larry Sinclair about having had oral sex with, well, let Larry talk about it.
Where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine, after which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois.
Now, why did Obama sue this guy? Why didn't he pay him off? The guy passed a lie detector test with 99% certainty. Now, Donald Trump paid off Stormy Daniels. We know for a fact he paid him. According to Giuliani, he paid Michael Cohen $130,000 to give to Stormy Daniels to quiet her down. If Donald Trump hadn't had sex with Stormy Daniels, then why did he pay her? Because Barack Obama, he didn't pay Larry Sinclair any money to remain quiet. I don't get it. And why did Barack Obama authorize another $150,000 to go to Karen McDougal through National Enquirer? Doesn't make any sense. Okay, we got Ghost of Shannon has something. Apparently, Bouteflika is in the news. Yeah, I don't think I need to show that right now. No, he's getting too old. Well, wind turbines, solar panels are going to be cheap. Road generation from kinetic generators that run off the rumble of cars has to be built into the infrastructure. That's a different story. Tom Jones. Yeah, I don't have any home messages. It's the New World Order. They're trying to turn us all into lizard people? Really? No, they're just really greedy people, these Ashkenazis. And I don't want you to dislike all Ashkenazis. We got a lot of nice Ashkenazis in our room. Well, I don't know. Rip, if your donation is not going through because of a PayPal ID problem, if you can send me an email at americasthirdparty@gmail.com, we can take it up with PayPal. Okay? I have never really had a problem, but we never really had any decent donations either, so there may be a problem. We get small donations like $4 and $10, but was it a sizable donation? I heard PayPal is up to some really weird things. Brunei has approved new measures that would allow anyone who engaged in homosexual activity to be stoned or whipped. Well, Sharia law. Wow. Boy, it must be tough being gay in Dearborn, Michigan. You can only imagine how some of these Muslim men are looking at all the gay people going, oh, this isn't Dearborn. This is Asian country. Approves execution by stoning for gayness. Wow. International human rights are strongly against it. Brunei announced new measures. Well, Russia doesn't allow gay people either. Yeah, and Trump likes Russia. He likes them so much that he hasn't imposed any sanctions, even though all of our government, 99%, ordered sanctions. Donald Trump has given them favor and completely backs Russia in every way possible. It's amazing, isn't it? Yet they say Donald Trump's not colluding with Russia. I mean, that's ridiculous. Of course he is. In fact, Donald Trump took a very pro-Russian stance when he went against NATO allies. Turned against our own NATO allies, which is exactly what Russia would want to do. And then Donald Trump installed a Russian agent, Michael Flynn, to be our national security advisor, when in fact Sally Yates, the acting attorney general at the time, told him that Michael Flynn was working for Russia. Working for Russia, that's right. And he still installed him. So Donald Trump has done everything he could to prove he's working for Russia. Yet Mueller says he's not working for Russia. I mean, come on. Total collusion. Even Mueller got paid off. According to Giuliani, he made $30 million doing this. He's walking to the bank now and probably having a big trip to the Bahamas with his family. He thinks it's all a big joke. He doesn't take our country seriously. In fact, Robert Mueller is the one who signed off on the 9/11 Commission's report that there were no explosives used at the World Trade Center attack. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to show you a picture that'll prove that explosions were used at the World Trade Center attack. That shows you how completely incompetent Robert Mueller is. Look at this building here. Building 6. Tell me that isn't an explosion in the middle of Building 6. It's like Oklahoma City bombing. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, David. You look nice.
Oh, thank you. Well, you look nice in your sweater, too.
No.
All right, everyone. Well, Sarah's here. She's going to give you some private conversation with a woman, American woman. Many of you who are obviously in need of knowing more about average people gets to know us. Sarah and I are average Americans. It's kind of a nice thing. You can communicate with real people as opposed to fake people on the media. I like my hair. I think my hair looks great.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I think it looks good. Thank you. All right. Have a good night. Take care. A lot of you just want to believe that there's no obstruction of justice, no collusion. You can believe that all you want, but the truth still remains that all kinds of suppression of evidence has gone on, lack of discovery by Robert Mueller, and now William Barr is on record trying to stop the investigation into obstruction many, many months ago. And we also know that he wrote a letter, 19-page letter to Rod Rosenstein, William Barr did, asking to not investigate Michael Flynn. The person I just described was working for Russia. So William Barr is working for Russia too. Robert Mueller is working for money. That's what's happening. And that's why we definitely have total collusion. It's proof now. There's no doubt about it.
Dinner, I had a piece of pizza and I brought one home.
Oh,
Not-
good.
Not a whole pizza.
Just a piece. Oh, okay.
Just a couple of
Okay,
pieces.
that's cool.
Because I figure, you don't necessarily need pizza.
No, I don't.
You said sometimes that when I bring it home, you're like, I'm kind of on a diet where you're bringing more pizza home.
I am. I'm trying to lose some weight. I've
But-
gained an
and
extra
then
10
you
pounds.
usually go out on Tuesday because it's Senior Tuesday.
Yeah.
To treat yourself, and so this is my treat for myself.
Thank you. You should buy a pizza on Wednesdays. They're cheap.
I just said I went in with some friends to get it, so
Oh,
I
good.
said I only need like a couple pieces. I don't need a whole pizza.
So you get a pizza for tomorrow too. That's good.
No,
All right.
I'll eat both pieces tonight.
Oh, okay, good.
Like the rest.
Okay, now Rip Paul says he made a donation and PayPal sent him a form they said they emailed to you. I have not received it. We checked our email for PayPal. We have not received it. So I'll check our email again later, Rip.
I'm planning on checking it this weekend. Oh, I forgot to go to the library.
Oh, don't worry about it. There's no hurry. We got plenty of time.
Well, I might be doing it this weekend. We'll see. Or next week. The issues will be so that it'll come to the end of the quarter, and I usually file the FEC paperwork every quarter, and then I have to also, since I'm filing this quarter, I will also get the Form 2 for David to fill out by paper. I saw it last time and I should have just printed it, but it said online, and so then I thought, oh, David could just fill it out online, but then if I fill it out online, then I have to fill out all of the future paperwork online, and I don't want to do that. You do have to be a U.S. citizen to donate. No, I just had some pizza tonight. Dinner tomorrow from David. It would be, I don't know, whatever David's gonna make tomorrow. What does that mean, Drag King? Yeah, it's third party. Yeah, I eat David's cooking. I often eat whatever he cooks. Hello to all the ships at sea. Thank you for what you're doing, bringing goods and services to the ports of entry. Without your hard work, our global economy would not exist. So thank you. Am I cold? I feel so bundled. Actually, everything I'm wearing now is cotton. I actually had on a wool jacket early in the morning. I've been wearing that wool jacket, but then I take it off and I'm like, why am I wearing this wool jacket? But it's got these deep pockets and I really need to take those back and put them into my purse. But anyway, yeah, I like this. But this is like one piece anyway. It's not really like, it looks like it's double, but it's actually like this part is just sewn in on this part. So this is not like double layer. Anyway, this is different though. So anyway, I like the colors though. Very important. Okay, I'll do that. No, I never said that, Xenu. That's what you think, but that's not true. I actually do eat most of David's food. Thanks, True Blue. You know I eat David's cooking, but do I like it? Some of it I do. Some of it actually tastes really good. Some of it I eat and don't, and it might not be my favorite, but I'll eat it. But then some of it I don't eat. Like if it's egg dishes, I don't usually eat it. No, it wasn't. Why would you say that, Jar Jar? I don't get it. You don't like it when people cook you food? And a lot of David's food, the presentation, what he lacks in presentation, he makes up in taste. So it actually tastes very good, even if you don't think it's presented the best. Ghost of Shannon wants Jar Jar to know that you will find Ghost of Shannon thinks you will find a higher quality chat on iVlog compared to Vaughn Live. You feel weirded out by eating something someone you know cooks? Maybe that's it. David does use a lot of Italian seasoning. Yes, a lot of things David makes taste really good, even if it might not look the best. Is that, oh, it's one of those hats, maxed out credit? They're pretty funny. Please make creamy chocolate fudge. I don't think David's going to do that. That's pretty funny, maxed out credit. I know, Xenu. Oh, that's good. I didn't know that you were, I didn't know that you were a chef at a 5-star restaurant, though. Good to know, Xenu. No, I've never tried that barcode, Pongo. Have you? Yes, I have seen David use Mrs. Dash, but he found this like salt-free seasoning from that was like clearance. I forget what it was. You'll know it when he talks about it. And anyway, so he's been using that seasoning instead. You got 2 of them, maxed out credit? 2 hats like that? Wow. It all happens, L. Ron Hubbard. Yeah, I think it's, oh goodness, I forget it. It was like, the singer, and then she made spices, but it was a 5-star buffet that you worked at? Okay. Do I ever feel like I haven't eaten enough salt? Well, David is very salt sensitive. So I've been on like a low salt diet for a long time. And because of David, basically. But actually, a low salt diet is actually the daily recommended allowance of salt, which is 2,000 milligrams. It's very difficult to stay under 2,000 milligrams of salt. I'm not always getting my onions every day. I do eat them quite often since David puts them in almost everything he eats. Yeah, David's like that, True Blue. He does not like too much salt and doesn't like too much sugar. It affects his mind and things like that. You question if we're being told to eat less salt to worsen our health, like on purpose. I don't know. I eat plenty of salt though, because I went and had my blood pressure taken, which is what salt usually affects your blood pressure. And so if you have high blood pressure, I would recommend a low salt diet. But I actually have low blood pressure, probably because I've been on a low salt diet. So then I don't mind eating extra potato chips and extra salty things because yes, Scissor Fight is here. I usually am on a, oh, they're for your nephew's twins, those hats, cute. Okay, now I get it. Anyway, that's it. You think David consumes too much salt and sugar? What is the right kind of salt? Well, I'm glad for you, Bark. Oh, those glasses too. I see. Got it. Your nephew's twins, is it? Ghost of shit. Oh, wait. Don't tell me yet because I have to view a broadcast. Hello, Mad Dog. Thank you. All right. Wait. Just a sec. All right. Now you can tell me the right kind of salt because I wasn't watching it. Scissor Fight is a mod over at iVlog. Well, I think salt is salt, so Himalayan pink salt or different salts. I'm not really... sea salt or Himalayan salt. Okay, according to Eco Mail, most people buy iodized salt from the grocery store and don't think a thing about it. They don't realize that good salt can help give them good health, while refined salt can add some health risks. Salt comes from the sea. Here, I'm reading this from Misanthropy gave it to me. I don't think I'm going to put it on screen because it's a whole bunch of words. If it had pictures and was pretty to look at, maybe I would. Okay, salt comes from the sea. It may have been laid down centuries ago in salt deposits, or it may have been dehydrated from pure seawater. Grocery store salt is different from salt from natural sources. It has been heated up to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's been refined to remove most of the natural elements. So grocery store salt, or what do they call it, iodized salt, is mostly sodium chloride. Natural salt has up to 84 natural minerals in it. Your body craves salt. In fact, your blood actually contains almost 1% salt, 0.9% salt, which maintains a delicate balance of sodium throughout your body. Just about every system in your body needs salt to make it work, which is especially important for your nervous system, but every body structure absolutely requires it. I did not know that. This is pretty interesting. Oh, you want me to unban Salty Dog? I think I banned him. I got so tired of him. Who else do you want me to unban? I want to unban Vika Sweet. What's your other name, L. Ron Hubbard? Okay, Tom, taken care of. Dr. Meow says use mineral salt, no sea salt, because fish have been on it, peed on it, and don't. You're so funny. What? Rex wasn't banned, was he? Of course I'll unban Rex. I don't think that was an accident, Hot Rails. No, you should not show up at work tomorrow drunk. Stop drinking, Mad Dog. Wait, you want me to ban you? Why? All right, moving on. Okay. I didn't know this. The National Academy of Sciences advises that we consume at least 500 milligrams of sodium a day to maintain good health, but most people do about 2,000 milligrams. How much a person actually needs varies quite a bit depending on their genetics and daily routine. See, I don't think David needs as much as other people. Yeah, maybe it is better. Well, wait, what is it? Somebody said I can do star ban and I can list it. Look at all the people that were I banned. No, what? I don't know. I forgot the thing that I can look at my ban list. No, I'm not doing an unban all, Tom. Oh, /star ban. Oh, wait, that's a question mark. That's a question mark too. No, that's not it. Sometimes Evil Dance is good. Sometimes. Thank you for respecting the... Well, Mad Dog, as long as it's not against the rules of... I accept and respect that you asked before. I will give you this caveat. Do not point the muzzle at the camera. If you are going to brandish a firearm, do not point the muzzle at the camera. That makes me feel threatened. Is that a 9mm it's looking like? Nice. Thank you. That's a nice gun. $6. Wait, you got that for $6? Is it a voltmeter? $6 cash something. Well, I don't know. I understand that, Dr. Meow, but it still makes me, even if I know that, it's not about that. It's about how I perceive things. I mean, I wouldn't go to a gun show and you not even knowing something's unloaded, you don't point it. Mad Dog's surprised I know my guns. He's like, yep, it's a 9mm. I knew my guns. Yeah. Oh, $6 on eBay. What is it? Maxed out credit that you're showing off. The beach it's cooling down with the sunset, so it's about 65 right now. What's a make and model? Well, I know them. Well, I know it's a 9mm. Oh goodness, like that. I hate that flashing light on the screen. That's a pretty cool. Is that the same one you gave me? Or it looks longer. Oh, it's a mag light? I still have the light you gave me and I still really appreciate it. I carry it around as my... Oh, it is a multimeter. Oh, nice. Ozark Trail Magnalite. That's a very good flashlight. You know, people who jump out of their chair if they see a rat on a TV? Yeah, virtual reality rat. I could understand that. Barry G, that information is total public information. Just go to our website, americasthirdparty.com. Or, I think davidsponheim.com has it too. Okay, Christmas gifts. So the multimeter can measure voltage and things like that, right? What do you mean alternate, Barry? Alternate, like it's you but under a different username? Thank you, Mad Dog. I appreciate that you love us and you wish us well. Your IQ can grow for the boys. You got some great toys for your boys, for your nephews. You forgot your password, and so you had to make a new user, so then you remembered your password. Okay, go ahead. What is your name? Your alternate. No, I don't plan on having children of my own in the now or in the future. Evil Dance to Good. I do plan on being a positive influence. Ow, ow, ow. They're very cool. I love the sunglasses. Maxed out credit. I plan on being a positive influence on future generations just by being a teacher. Barry G unit. Because you know I wouldn't unban that other thing. Someone who wants to be like me. You're probably right, Dr. Mill. $4 for the UV sunglasses? Nice. Well, I think things happen over 20 years, 522. David and I have been together for over 20 years. Well, wait. I've lived with David almost 20 years. It'll be 20 years June 1st. That's when I feel like celebrating our anniversary, is like when I moved in. But we dated before that, obviously. That's not me, Barry G. But whoever it is, I'm sure they're very popular. They'll be like, wow, I'm so popular. It's probably you. Well, when I was dating David, my dad said, yep, she'll be with him forever. Yes, maxed out credit is in Canada. No. Did he put me on the show, on the air when I called to talk to him when I was gone in late February? Misanthropy? Is that a good thing? Hot rails? Oh, okay. Was dating David more fun or living with him? Well, you know, when you're dating him, when you're dating someone, they might do extra special things. Especially, they probably dating was a little more fun, but that's because absence makes the heart grow fonder. I don't know, and he has a great phone voice. I was thinking that it would be nice I could call David just to listen to his voice on the phone, Misanthropy. Yes. People do try to appeal more to each other during dating. I mean, it's true with me. I took better care of myself when I was dating than I do now that I'm with David. What do you do? So you just relate to people in chat rooms and Hot Rails? Well, neither does Dave. David would say he doesn't do that either. I don't like to talk about my armory, Fluffy, because, you know, it's not really something to gloat about. I'll think about it, Misanthropy. Maybe on, I don't know. Never mind.
All right. Yep. Clockwork. Yeah, I made something for vegetables if you want any.
Oh, that's probably a good idea.
But I have some wontons and some chicken for myself.
Okay, good. Do you want to eat right now?
No. You need to have a pizza warmed up. It's sitting there waiting for you. This is such a beautiful view here off the coast of wherever, you know.
Yeah, you look great with that background.
I know. I feel great with the background. I feel like I'm in paradise. And, it didn't cost me a lot to get here either. Putting a green screen up in your suburban home is really the way to go, and pretend like you're in wherever, paradise. Yeah. I mean, I can see over there the beautiful seagulls. What's that?
I can fly twice as high.
You can fly
Take
twice
a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow.
Oh, Reading Rainbow, right. I can fly.
Anywhere.
Sesame Street. Yeah, I remember that.
I can do anything.
That's right.
It's different. It's Reading Rainbow, not Sesame Street. It's with LeVar Burton, who was, he had these cool glasses, but they weren't really glasses. They were the hair things.
There was hair that was coming up around.
No, it wasn't hair. He had these things on Star Trek.
Oh.
And then he didn't wear them during Reading Rainbow. Kind of, no.
For this is my UV protector. I feel like I need a buzzsaw or something.
All right, anyway.
All right, thanks, Sarah.
I'll be back.
Yeah, heat that pizza up. I think eating it cold is not going to be as good.
Okay, maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll just eat it cold.
Well, go for it then, if you really want it. I only post this because I'm confused. Is this really Sarah's? No, it's not. I have to clear chat. Of course, it's not Sarah's Twitter. It's somebody posing. It's Rodney. He put a whole thing out. Mad Dog, yeah. Well, you look like you've got a new hat, a new hairdo, and my beautiful cat Fluffy is in, showing her support. And Max Headroom has got his Ritalin. Maxed Out Credit has his Ritalin show, which is kind of cool because he's on Ritalin to stay awake. He had a very and that's kind of cool too. That the hat that with the See what he has there, Mad Dog? It's a way of wearing hair, extending it. That's pretty cool. Well, whoever it is, they're getting paid to attack us. So there you go. Wrap it up, put it in the bag, save it for later. Today's Wig Wednesday, so some of you guys are going to get ready for your wigs. I've got a couple of wigs in the back I'm going to wear. This is my real hair, though, so I'm wearing that right now. I don't need a hat. Here it's beautiful here. It's 75 degrees overlooking the Pacific Ocean. I just saw a landing base nearby, taking a couple of 747 MAX 8s, put them in retirement, so they're going to be parked over there on the base nearby here. No, that's okay. I just had to clear the chat. I don't have an Afro wig. It would be inappropriate, and in deference to black people, I don't think it's appropriate that I would do a racist thing like a wig that looked like I was making fun of black people. I've never done that. I've done blackface impersonations of Barack Obama, but that was in respect and deference to the simple fact that we have to make fun of a New World Order puppet president who's now, we find out, gay and married to a transgender who just got Jussie Smollett out of jail. The beautiful Michelle Obama. Yeah. The dude looks like a lady. It adds real meaning to the whole thing. Hey, wrong. I should not have played this. These are our distant relatives that kind of behave like us. This is the sound of sheep. Meh. 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 I will do a Blackface 3 if Michelle runs in 2020. I'm hoping she doesn't run. She just sticks to her dancing days where she's so good at that. Those were the days. Watching Michelle, so many times in our show, we've dedicated our time to watching the dance moves of Michelle showing her penis and testicles. And I would be remiss in not showing it to you as the background of our show. This is Michelle Obama when she was on the Ellen DeGeneres show. And you can clearly see, beyond a shadow of doubt, that her penis is showing along with the testicle. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you'd have to be blind to not know this is Michael LaVaughn Robinson. Thank you, True Blue. It's sad when a country like ours has been lied to so many times, and you still wonder if we need a third party. I mean, my God, people. They didn't even check to see if Michelle had a penis, and she ran as the first lady for 8 years. I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself voting for her. Well, let's be clear. Michael is, I met Michael when I was going to Occidental College, and he was a running back at Oregon State University. And, well, let's be clear. Michael LaVaughn Robinson, look at that. I kid you not, man. I only play it because I think we need a little humor in the show, but it's also fact that needs to be disputed on a daily basis. All right, moving on. We've gone through the transgender stage with Michael Obama. We touch down on that every night in our show. Well, it's just wrong to lie to people and claim you're not a dude when you are. I mean, if I said I was a woman and I should be the first lady, don't you think that would be a little weird? Considering I'm not even homosexual or transgender. I think we've been lied to, and that's what's disturbing most about this whole thing. Yeah. I'll see you later. I'm going to go down and walk out on the beach. Okay, I'm back. I love walking on the beach. It's so great. Except now you can't get, you have to wear special booties so that you don't get the radiation getting into your open sores on your feet from walking on the beach with radiation. What kind of clown world is this first lady who's a tranny? Yeah, tell me about it, Tonka Trucks. Well, that's the thing. And if you still side with the Republicans, they refuse to look at Barack Obama's birth certificate, in case you didn't know. And I hope I'm appealing to at least 1/3 or 1/4. Actually, more like half of the country didn't believe at one point that Barack Obama was born in America. Half the country at one point, I think it was almost 47%, believed that he was born in Kenya because he kept telling everyone he was born in Kenya. And then in 2007, they changed their tune and they said, oh no, I'm born in Honolulu. Well, let's be clear. I was born in Honolulu. So they lied to us throughout that whole period, and now we're fast forward to the present time. We're dealing with the incredible lie of fakery in New Zealand, the total BS story that they pitched. That doesn't sound right to me. The fakery, the New Zealand BS. taking all their weapons away. There's 1.2 million weapons that they're repossessing in that country. This is exactly what Hitler did during the 1930s. Hi, Misanthropy. Welcome back. I think 34% still believe that Barack Obama was born in Kenya. 34% by the most recent study. Donald Trump, remember, he stole my birther idea and then ran with it like his, and then he discarded it when he became president. That's what happened. But meanwhile, the beat goes on. The truth is, Barack Obama was born in Kenya. He lied to us. That was a complete cover-up in the Supreme Court. We've got corruption so high up in the Supreme Court that Elena Kagan, who handled the case as Solicitor General, took all those lawsuits that were pending for the Supreme Court to look at his birth certificate, and she pushed those away as Solicitor General. It was her responsibility, and she didn't push him to the front desk of the Supreme Court. Right after that, Barack Obama made her a Supreme Court justice, and she had never served a day as a judge in her life. Elena Kagan is now a Supreme Court justice, kind of like the Brett Kavanaugh thing, where an alleged rapist who's clearly an alcoholic is put in front of us, and we still don't see any activity on the Democrat side to try to impeach him. Yet there's talk about it. It's unfortunate that we have an alcoholic as a Supreme Court justice who allegedly raped a woman. I mean, what a sad day in America. And the reason why we have that is because this Brett Kavanaugh, he passed a bill as a federal judge. He actually authorized super PACs to accept foreign money. He's the reason why Russia has been supporting people like Mitch McConnell for re-election. And guess who was his biggest advocate? Mitch McConnell.
We drank beer. She had one beer at the party and had beers with, and having some beers with friends, or just to meet up and have some beers. Drinking beer, which I gladly do.
Can you imagine somebody putting their hand over a woman's mouth and keeping her mouth shut while she's going, "Stop rape, rape." Can you imagine that? How that man must have been? Nearly raping that woman, allegedly. And there was no investigation into his background by the FBI. He had received $200,000 from some unknown source to pay off his debt to the Washington, D.C. baseball team, the Nationals. He had season tickets that he kept buying for his friends. He likes to buy season tickets and he likes to drink beer. And what's really weird is that they never investigated who paid that bill off. So this guy is viable. People will give him money and he'll do whatever they say because it's already been proven he's done whatever they want. Passing a law that allows foreign nationals to donate to our elections, that's crazy. So we've got a lot of things to do, and obviously the Democrats aren't going to do them. So that's why we need a new third party, everybody. They've become a party that can't raise any real important issues, like vaccines. Why force them on everybody? If some people don't want to have needles stuck in their arms and want to live a private life and homeschool their kids, I'm going to be creating a provision for that so that people can actually raise their children with a little bit of support from Uncle Sam. Really, a little bit of money too. I haven't put a number on it, but I'm thinking a homeschooling bonus offer. But we're already putting a lot of money out there for people, you know. But the vaccines themselves have not proven to be effective. In fact, measles is spreading through the vaccines. There was a study done recently. We covered that story in our show. In fact, last night we had it in our show. We talked about a woman who is in the vaccine industry, and she said that she knows for a fact that these measles were spread through the vaccines. This is size 50. I'm a 47. I need a little room for the bulletproof jacket. We talked about that. Seattle is dying. A documentary. We played it last couple days ago, but I'd like to play it again. It's good for tonight. If you don't mind an encore presentation, we got 4 hours of video. I'll play it tonight. It was really good. We played it last Wednesday. It was a link somebody sent us, but yeah, thank you, Dark Engine. You know, I'm not going to Iowa to campaign. I'm unable to actually get any donations, so we're unable to get any money. They locked out our PayPal account or something. And that's not the reason why we've been getting no donations for the past 7 years. It's partly could be to that, but it more likely it's just an indication that PayPal is working or colluding with whoever's trying to stop us. We don't require much campaigning in Iowa. In fact, I don't really need to worry about any of this. Most of this effort is, and always was, on you. And since I can't really generate your interest enough to make a donation, I simply do this as a principle. The reason I'm doing it is to save the nation, save our environment, save the planet. Originally, I started this with a goal to raise awareness for the green, clean technologies that I'm promoting. And we've got ideas to save the country with that. That would be fantastic. But we just can't seem to get enough virality out of this because of the censorship and the lack of donations and everything. So if I could talk about something else, I would. But, all I can do is give you ideas that'll help generate new revenue for everybody. The Infrastructure Bank will donate 2% loans to people who are U.S. businesses hiring U.S. citizens at a $15 per hour minimum wage. It's one way to work with the minimum wage law up a little bit. And this loan idea is a fantastic solution to generate new products like wind power solutions, like this thing. This is an idea I came up with in 2009 where we can generate a lot of wind power from winds as low as 5 miles per hour on all the electric poles in America. We're talking about millions of poles and millions of jobs too. Green, clean, and friendly new industrial. So what's going on, in case you didn't know, is most of us are being essentially brainwashed into being kind of apathetic. And if you're wondering why you're just like, I don't care, screw it, man. It's because you too are being that way. Everyone in America is under the influence of something, whether it's fluoride in our water, airborne lithium, they're dropping on our heads. So of course you don't want to donate. You can't even imagine what's going on. You're barely able to comprehend that the Chicago prosecutor who rigged the Jussie Smollett case got money from George Soros, $408,000. But here she is defending her case. Cook County State Attorney Kim Foxx on Wednesday defended the decision by her staff to drop charges the Empire actor Jussie Smollett staged a racist anti-gay attack in January. Foxx recused herself before Smollett was charged last month because she had discussed the case with a Smollett family member. Oh, how convenient for her. The case was handed to First Assistant State Attorney Joseph Maggots. Oh, so she got out of it by recusing herself. Nice. Fox didn't directly answer the question when CBS 2 TV in Chicago asked if she believed Smollett was innocent, as Smollett had continued to contend, saying only that the matter was handled properly. She pointed to Smollett forfeiting this $10,000 bond and doing community service in return for dropping the charges. Maggots has said that he does not believe Smollett is innocent, and Chicago police say he faked the attack. Well, I don't understand. If Maggots says he's not innocent, and the First Assistant State Attorney Joseph Maggots has taken over the case, and now he said that he does not believe Smollett is innocent, and Chicago police say he faked the attack. He says, I believe that the outcome, him having to forfeit the $10,000 and having to do community service based on allegations and, again, low-level felony and no criminal background, are an outcome that we would expect with this type of case, she said. Not he, she. So she's still active in this case, and she's answering for it, and somehow the will of First Assistant State Attorney Joseph Maggots was not passed. This is the most bizarre statement I've ever seen from a prosecuting attorney. It's up there with Stephen Wasserman Schultz of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Stephen Wasserman, her brother, actually got the Awan brothers off on a plea agreement while he worked for the prosecutor's office. The prosecutor's office cannot possibly allow that, but they did it anyway. This is extreme corruption, folks. She also insisted no one try to intervene on Smollett's behalf, despite emails showing that Fox was contacted by people linked to Smollett about the case. We've got total corruption here. Oh yeah, she's got to be prosecuted. See what I mean? I think this is like unbelievable. It's ridiculous. Hey, Scissor Fight. What you got? NRA official sought Sandy Hook hoaxer to question Parkland shooting email show. Huh. An NRA official sought Sandy Hook hoaxer to question the Parkland shooter email show. NRA official Mark Richardson emailed a day after the Parkland shooting to say the shooter was not alone. Wow. Well, what did he know? An official of the NRA corresponded with a prominent Sandy Hook conspiracy theorist to call into question the school shooting in Parkland. Obtained by Huffington Post. Wow, that's great. NRA officer Mark Richardson emailed Wolfgang Halbig, a noted harasser of parents of the Sandy Hook elementary school victim. Harasser? To float a conspiracy theory about the what do you? I don't get it. We still haven't seen any evidence of any real no CCTV footage of the Parkland shooting. I don't see what the problem is here. We're still waiting on evidence in almost 50 cases. It's kind of amazing how many lies we've been lied to about. Yeah, I did a little piece. I'm going to add some video to it, but here's a little ditty I did about this same subject right now. Downloading.
We need to put safeguards in place to prevent our own government from lying to its own people. Now, recently, under Barack Obama's NDAA, and now Trump has signed it into law as well, they have suppressed the Smith-Mundt Act, which was created in 1946 to prevent propaganda from being used against the people of the country. Since that time, we've seen over 50 shootings, which according to NPR, only 11 school shootings occurred in the period of time from 2015 to 2016, whereas the media and the government is saying 240 school shootings have occurred. A gross lie, and NPR has proven that. They've found every school did not corroborate the shootings that the media said. So we have to have safeguards in place.
Yeah, without safeguards, we're going to be stuck. I'm going to work that again, I think. The energy level was a little low to start with. I'm just seeing how this stuff plays out before I add video to it. The thing that I'm concerned about is when NPR came out with this rule that actually it's pretty obvious. They did the hard work. They contacted every school in America and that was involved with the supposed school shootings, and they came up with a veritable handful, only 11, that could corroborate it. Here's the story in case you have family members that say, oh no, these are real events, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're real events. How can you say that? Don't you have any feeling at all for the poor people that died? This is a serious story from NPR, and if you have respect for NPR, and I know a lot of you Democrats do, the school shootings that weren't, you got to read this story. It's amazing. It's right there in bold print. Nearly 240 schools allegedly have involved gun-related shootings, and only 11 actually reported the incidences. So here's the link. This is powerful. NPR holds some weight in some of your liberal homes, and you'll get people's heads to turn if you go there and show them that. The lies are insane. 153, you've got something? Okay. Now,
the following program is closed caption.
Last night I was not able to completely play all the different things I wanted to play, so I'm going to play more of them tonight. But this is a video that will be playing later tonight.
For the thinking impaired.
Okay, we're going to be looking deep at the New Zealand hoax issue. Yeah. But last night I was in the middle of playing a bit of video. We've got Scissorfight's video about how many people received money. GoFundMe pages are all over the place for the Christchurch shooting.
I got a bunch of money too.
Oh, I like money. Yeah. I like money, though. I like money. I like money.
Like 23,000 raised for this one person. Tragically lost their life. So there's 50 people and all these relatives that are allegedly making money now off of the GoFundMe thing. And then, of course, we had some special video I wanted to follow up with. Scissorfight has been getting covered with chemtrails down in California, and this is the typical day of geoengineering above his house in Orange County. Okay, I had to get a dose of that because it's important to actually play some of the music that Scissorfight engineers. He's good, yeah. It really sets the mood for the concern that we all have for the air that we breathe. Now, a lot of you who don't believe in chemtrails are obviously, you have your head in the sand, or apparently you have no idea how bad they are. How do you do all those fancy tricks with your camera, Dave? I use a program called XSplit.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Okay, that was the one we just had. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm in the right place here. Yeah. There's one called New Zealand Hoax, New Findings. And the other one's called Christchurch, New Zealand Hoax, New Findings. One is 9 minutes and the other one is 9.53. I'm going to assume they're different videos, so we'll go with that. And of course, here's a link to the fake video. If you haven't heard, there was another video made. Yeah. And that's a Twitter link to somebody who's posted information about the other video. All I can say is that, the video itself shows people pretending to be hurt in that video. I won't be doing any public appearances, Hot Rails. Yeah, that's not in the works. I'm so sorry. You had every option to get me out there back about 6 or 7 years ago. Now I'm no longer able to do that. There have been too many death threats. That's the one downside of this whole process, is in the process of trying to stop me build the world audience, I have received so many death threats that my security is not safe. In no way could I possibly travel with any known knowledge of my trips or flights or anything. I can't take plane trips. It's impossible. The reason is most of the planes are, of course, hackable. The navigation systems are hackable from some hacker. They even do hacker conventions where they show people how all of this is possible. But the harsh reality is most of our flights are safe for most people, except for the fact that for people of high profile like myself, I could be targeted. And in no way would I want other people to die because I was on a plane going from here to wherever. It's not safe. None of these planes are safe. The MH370 incident is proof in and of itself. And that kind of brings me to where I am right now. No, I won't meet with Trudeau when elected, no. I need full support with Secret Service staff, of course, but he could certainly come to the White House. Yeah. I don't think you realize how dangerous what I'm doing is. Many of you have no idea. I would never go to Israel. I would never go to England either. No, there's no way I would go to those two countries. Unlike Trump, who's a puppet for the New World Order, Trump doesn't have the worries that I have, being I'm bucking the New World Order. That's a big difference, okay? Trump isn't. He's part of the deep state. So he doesn't have any fears whatsoever, except general fear, being a president. But he's a person who's basically in the clutch of the New World Order. So they have an incentive to keep him going and run him through 2020. Me, they don't want me around. And we've seen from all the different attacks on our show over the past 10 years that the last person they want is an honest man in a country as corrupt as America right now. So as you can see, I've been doing this for at least 10 years. Here I was 10 years ago.
Hi, good morning. As you can see, I'm still wearing the shirt I wore last night and yesterday at Blog TV. It's exhilarating to do Blog TV. We've been having an incredible time. This is in fact day 54. I thought yesterday was day 54, but we did a recount and we determined that today is day 54 as we approach the election. And as your potential write-in candidate, David John Sponheim, I'm here to show you my hybrid electric vehicle.
Hey, now, Bernie Sanders is part of the New World Order, too. Many of you people don't get it. The two parties are owned by the New World Order. They have been run by AIPAC, and AIPAC is essentially the backers of the New World Order play here in America. The people that are getting a lot of criticism right now, like Ilhan Omar, has ultimately been targeted by a lot of people as being anti-Semitic. She's anti-Zionist. AIPAC is somebody she's looked at saying, why are these people so important to American foreign policy? When did that ever happen? And she's absolutely right. And I wouldn't normally support a woman who may or may not have married her brother to become a U.S. citizen. I'm not concerned about that. I'm more concerned about what she said and how they're vilifying her in the media. So Omar is actually the only person of dissenting voice right now in the U.S. media, other than myself, about AIPAC. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? But they've been controlling our country, the two parties, from the very beginning, when they formed American-Israeli Political Affairs Committee. They're not a political action committee. They're not technically allowed to donate, unless, of course, that law changed. I haven't researched it. They're all in collusion with AIPAC. You caught Ben Shapiro working with AIPAC? Yeah, maxed out credit. I believe it. Now, as you know, I'm essentially in favor of Israel as a nation, and my position is relatively moderate toward and against Zionism. I am not kowtowing to Zionists by saying that. I'm trying to explain to people we can't be like World War II or the aftermath and start hating people. We actually have to steer our nation away from corruption and the influences of AIPAC and other foreign donated political action committees. Yeah, well, it happens, I think your girlfriend and you are intimate, and you have to accept the fact that that's what happens in a personal relationship. Okay, you're pro-Israel, but anti-Zionism. Yeah, same. Yeah, exactly. So I'm standing in support of Israel as a nation, of course, and also not willing to do their bidding and not willing to actually take orders from Zionist leaders, but more than willing to tell everyone in the world that I will provide air support in the event Israel was attacked or provoked. We would not support them with ground invasions. I wouldn't send our troops to the Middle East, except the ones that are currently there may have other purposes. Yeah, diapers are cheap. You get your girlfriend some diapers. Why would you support a nation founded and run by Zionist scum? I'm not trying to. It's not odd at all. What it is trying to be practical in this matter and recognize that we're not going to erase Israel from the face of the earth. And if Israel were ever to lose their status as a nation, there's strong evidence to support the idea that they have nuclear weapons, and even an option called the Samson option, which is a plan to destroy the entire world completely. Thank you for giving me some hearts. That's kind of you. Yeah, they would actually destroy the world. Their Samson option has been discussed. Now, we have yet to get Israel to admit that they have nuclear weapons. I will put that to the task of asking them if they want to sign the nuclear non-proliferation agreement. This is a first step toward getting some fair play between Israel and Iran and other nations. It's never been done, and this is why I need to do it. And if we can't get them to sign the nuclear non-proliferation agreement, we begin doing what has to be done, which is not support them financially. So I'm technically concerned that if they don't abide by certain international standards of human rights as well, and sign the nuclear non-proliferation agreement, that they can't possibly get money from us, which means we're going to save about $4 billion a year not going to Israel if they don't sign it. Now, if they're smart, they'll sign it and say, yes, we admit to having nuclear weapons. We are now a nation forward-thinking, and we want to make amends with certain other trading partners, etc. Then we'd be able to move forward toward détente. But if we can't get them to do that, then we're not going to get Israel to back down by hating on Israel. That's my point. But we certainly don't want Zionists to run the world and dictate where we're going and what the future of the world is, which is clearly the case right now. I'm not making decisions for Israel. That's their country, and we can do whatever they want. I believe in the nation-state model. I don't believe our country should run around telling people what to do. So an infrastructure bank could fund the growth of new jobs in America, and dealing with our big environmental problems really is the thrust of this concept of funding growth to solve the environmental crisis we're facing. And that's dealing with waste. We've got a lot more plastic waste than we've ever had because China is cutting us off. They're not recycling a lot of our waste, so it's all backing up right now in our ports. And Trump hasn't even mentioned it. And the environment is in despicable condition with climate change clearly happening. And most of this I attribute to weather modification, but you can claim it's just carbon. But it's certainly not happening this fast because of carbon.
Yes, our cities, they finally got somebody to take number one and number two peat, because the reasons your cities won't recycle anymore is because most recycling was sent overseas to China. China refuses to take our recycling they claim two different reasons. One is because of the whole issue with the Trump and the trade embargo, basically all of his issues with the trade embargoes and trade tariffs and all that. And then the other reason is they said that our recycling, what we claimed was recycling, was really actually infested with a lot of garbage. So people were calling it recycling, but it'd be like dirty diapers and things that aren't safe.
Yeah, and I did a...
Could possibly recycle ourselves. Yeah, I mean, it would be great to start a recycling plant here in the U.S.
The Green Deal lost completely in the Senate. They voted almost completely against it, 51-0. The fact is, the Green Deal didn't have any basis in truth. There's no way we can possibly get rid of our infrastructure of cars like the Green Deal wants to do, or stop us flying in jets. But we could certainly create alternatives to jets, like the blimp plane idea that I've talked about in our show. We've talked about harvesting a lot of energy and sequestering carbon out of coal emissions. And I do believe clean coal is possible, but it just requires a little infrastructure to do this that industry can't shoulder the cost. So our government has to actually be innovators and actually build solutions for the environmental crisis we're all facing. And in the process, I argue that we're going to have jobs and we're going to have exports that other countries will want. And embracing this notion of green, clean technologies really is the way of the future. But Trump is so backward, he can't even embrace the idea that we're having climate change right now. And we clearly are. Whether you're a Republican who believes that the Earth's getting colder or a Democrat who believes the Earth's getting warmer, I don't know about you, but this last winter was pretty damn cold. So whatever they're doing isn't working. And whatever they're doing in the skies above us with chemicals is not working either. And the two parties are not fixing it. That's why we need this third party, everybody. I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself every day that we have an overwhelming need now for a third party to get redress to all these wrongs be committed in this world that we're living in. We have to do this. There's no other way around it. If you want to talk your way into being a Democrat or Republican, you're wasting time. Carbon taxes don't work. We need to innovate. Carbon taxes actually just suck money out of the economy and give incentives for companies to buy dairy digesters when they're polluting pesticides from another process. And that's been proven. Copenhagen Treaty was a failure. It was abused by various people. Gotta lighten the load here. Okay, the Jussie Smollett thing has been taken in different directions. Apparently, this woman, Kim Fox, was the prosecutor. She deferred to the assistant prosecutor in the case, and she claims that she didn't even handle the case, that she recused herself, but she seems to have all the answers about the case. And the assistant prosecutor is saying that he didn't even want to release Jussie. So she's saying she recused herself. She got $408,000 from George Soros for her election. And she recused herself, but at the same time, she installed this guy, First Assistant State Attorney Joseph Maggots. But Maggots has said that he does not believe Smollett is innocent, and Chicago police say he faked the attack. So why is it her will overrode his will when she recused herself? It doesn't make any sense at all. That's the situation right now. So Jussie got no charges at all, but how was justice affected what did Michelle Obama have to do with it? That's what needs to be found out. This is clear corruption at the highest level. This is no different than the Tammany Hall years. Chicago's got a long history of corruption. This is just one of the many instances. Yeah. All right, Sarah's going to take over for a while. I'll take a look at that in a bit, Drag King. Thanks. Thank you.
I've decided I've heard it before, and I heard it again recently.
What you can watch online is likely about to change. That's because of a sweeping overhaul of copyright rules just passed by the European Parliament. Big names.
I basically just heard about how a couple of people say, you know, if you want to be effective and you want to be great or do get a lot done, don't listen to the news. The news, you know, if you focus 30 minutes on watching the news, that's 30 minutes of usually negative stories in your life. And I'd rather focus on 30 minutes of positive things in my life and talk about all the things I'm grateful for, or talk about all the things that I actually want to accomplish, set out a vision, use that time dreaming about a vision for the future, or spend that 30 minutes actually doing something, physically doing something, working out, or anything. Ha, that's pretty funny, Tom. Oh, that's okay, Ace. I can get my own pizza, like I did this evening. Not because David's cooking was inedible. I mean, he cooked a great meal tonight. I just wanted to do that tonight. Because last night, I didn't... Anyway, I did that tonight. It was fine, but like I said, it was, yeah. I don't know what he'll make for you tomorrow, though. Sometimes it's good to just not eat too much, eat light too. Last night I kind of eat light. Well, I had chips and this cheese dip that we bought. That was basically what I had last night. No, there's plenty of food in the pantry. No, I don't like Domino's pizza. It's too salty for me. And, you know, David's cooking's fine. Like I said, it actually tastes good. Sometimes the presentation isn't the best, but it tastes really good. I will never starve. Trust me, David has this belief in stockpiling food. I have plenty of edible things. No, actually, the cheese dip was white cheese, so it did not have any yellow 5 in it. I can show it to you later. Actually, have David show it to you. Ask him tomorrow during his cooking show. Say, hey, David, incorporate that cheese dip somehow. And I have seen cheese being made by Humboldt Creamery or Humboldt Cheese. Yeah, maybe it was Humboldt Creamery. Well, they have an ice cream store, and then there's this other one across the street, which is a little cheese factory. But I don't think they call it Humboldt Cheese. I think they call it Ferndale Cheese or something. Anyway, it's pretty good. But yeah, that was pretty good. And I like these Luke's corn chips. They taste a little bit like they taste a little bit like Fritos, which I like. Is that a question or a comment, Hot Rails? Well, Bengalitis, of course, usually on Thursdays, David cooks too much food for you because he has a thing about cooking for a wrecking crew. But then we'll eat that food for like a week, sometimes even longer. Yeah, but these are Luke's organic corn chips. Those are the ones that taste like Fritos. But I don't like Luke's organic Cheeto thing, imitation Cheetos. Sorry, Luke, it just has a weird aftertaste for me. But I do love your Luke's organic potato chips. Those are delicious, probably the best potato chips I've ever had. And I love the Luke's organic corn chips because they taste like Fritos, but they're better and healthier for me. So, and they're not as thick as Fritos. Like, you know how Fritos are like thick? They're like thinner than that, but they have that same taste, which is really good. What is that about, Tom? Oh, I love sweet potato chips or sweet potato corn chips. Tom, no. Trader Joe's has this sweet potato corn chip. I like that, which is really good. I do like, and then I like Trader Joe's has their version of Cheetos. I do like that too. It's got the right crunch and And it's not, but it's not super oily like Cheetos are. Well, that person tried to, like, it seemed like they were imitating David. And so that's the big problem with that 892. I know imitation is the highest form of flattery, but David doesn't like it. Exactly. See, 209, and I don't need to do any line-altering substances to talk about chips. See, and I'd rather talk about chips than talk about the news. I know some people probably thinks, oh, sorry, Tom. I know I should answer the questions. The question was, what does David have against the T. Rucker guy? And the answer was, that person was imitating David. You think David flatters Rodney often because you think David imitates Rodney? I think it's both. I think it goes both ways. 892, if you're going to be a political figure, you need to get used to satire. But I'm not... I have a weird sense of humor, 892, so I don't know if I ever will get used to satire. Flyman, what do you think about DC to be the next state? I think we'd have more luck having Jefferson as the next state. It's in Northern California. They already want to make it a state. Split California in two. 209. No, not that I'm aware of. They already have 625 candidates, and now I've got to add David, so it'll be 626 or however many else decide to also run. Yes, Tom, I have heard that too, and I don't know who that is or what the whole issue is. I wonder if Hot Rails is that same character. Yeah, that's why I like Luke's potato chips. They don't seem as oily as other potato chips. Probably, Tom. I think they probably are, Rifew. Or, well, if you suppressed it, at least. It's like a needle in a haystack. Yeah, I don't care about the news, that news either, Drunken. That's pretty funny, 892. What's his name? Yes, that's what I mean, obscure needle in a haystack. Yeah, but I do feel, and it was kind of recently brought to my attention, and I've kind of been on this bandwagon. I really feel like the way that the internet, especially search engine results or, social media results, how popularity algorithms have been designed so that popularity triumphs all. And I don't think I think that can really kill innovation and newness. And I really love things that are new. Okay, 892. You don't know the first name? Huh, that's funny. I think that's an issue, though. It's very difficult. It's very difficult these days to become popular. Do you know how to do it? Maybe I just never have been popular, so I don't know how to become popular. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, because all the cool kids, they seem to get it. Yeah, I know that 209. That's more infamous than famous. I don't think that's going to be enough, Tom. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Random things. Well, no. No, I don't think it's just random things. I think it's very difficult to become popular. And I don't think so either, 892. I don't think these days it's just enough to be in a adult video even. I think that's the thing. People are always looking for entertainment, and you have to do more and more and more. So anyway. And then the thing is that anything new and innovative gets buried. And people click on the top thing after the advertisement, sometimes not after the advertisement. So you either can get popular with a lot of money so that you can pay for a lot of advertising, or David has never considered that. I have always believed that, 892. Always. I don't think that's going to work for you, Hot Rails. But if you have money, then you can buy your teeth after you lose them from doing all the meth. Why do you think that, 742? Well, you can get you could get dentures, but they also have implants that you can get. Yeah, Tom, I know about that. Yes, implants are super expensive. That's why I mentioned the word money. 4 stars, True Blue, not 5. Oh, did you leave the chat, 742? Is that it? You just post and leave because you know you'll be kicked anyway. Like when David comes back from his breaks and he always thanks me for giving him a break. Yeah. Thank you, True Blue. 5 stars, a little better than 4. Well, Tom, if you want to see guest chat, then you need to go to our iVlog show, because Mark Vaughn chose to get rid of guest chat over at Vaughn Live, which I appreciate. Even though I like the guests, I also don't like guests. Hello, Arthur. Well, I go to sleep first, Hot Rails, so, yeah, Vaughn turned off guests about, it wasn't this Christmas, it was a year and a half ago, something like that. There's plenty of guests. I see some numbers on iVlog at the moment, Arthur. Well, I go to, no, because maybe I do that because nobody does that. No, we don't do that to each other, Tom. That's just disgusting in my opinion. Okay. Sorry you lost video feed. We have a lot of flyovers happening. So that might happen. Last night at this time, I was totally kicked off the internet, but I think I'm still on right now. Well, it might be the issue of money. 892? I don't know. He would say he's not attacking. I don't know the answer to your question. All right. I do like the ocean. I don't think I've been to the ocean for a few months though. Maybe since last summer. And I live right by the ocean. Well, I could just stop at the ocean on the way home. So why don't I do that? Because I'm pretty busy. Because I need to cover David, give him breaks. And I'm pretty busy at work too. Oh, thanks, Tom. So people said I used to roll my eyes a lot, but I think it was, they say that, I just heard on Monday that if you're feeling stressed out, lifting your eyes up is like a way to relax, which is really interesting. So I think that's what I used to do. Yes, all the time. Not to the side, they should go up, Hot Rails. That's how my eyes, there you go. They do go up. Oh, I didn't realize they do go up. Off to the side and up. Okay, never mind. We watched I think we read a book or watched a video, and then that's what caused David to think about the elites and Zionists and things like that.
So,
okay.
The second baby elephant died in Indianapolis Zoo. It's the same virus.
See, this is why I don't watch the news.
It's a herpes virus that affected the elephant.
Because I feel like if I watch the news or listen to news stories, it's just depressing.
You're right.
It's just bad. It's negative,
bad for you.
And it's not good for my mind. I'd rather just talk about
happy thoughts.
Happy thoughts, yes. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
It isn't. It's okay.
I'd rather talk about the future. I'd rather talk about my goals for the country. I don't even want to listen to the news or even watch or read the news. And so I might just stick to that.
And your plan is working because people like this break where they actually talk to a person who totally doesn't care about the news right now, which is
I'd
good.
rather talk to you about your lives than talk about the news.
There you go. That's what this is all about. Really, it's communication, community, sharing. News happens to be my thing. So I'll handle that portion.
Okay, you can do that. I guess I'll leave so you can get.
Oh no, you can hang out, but I mean, I'll focus on the herpes outbreak of hemorrhagic fever among the elephants, and you can talk about happy stuff.
Yeah, because I really don't care.
I know.
Unless they're in my backyard, I really don't care.
What about the lion that ate the other lion at the same zoo? Yeah.
So what?
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, we're talking about wasteful things tonight. I thought I'd share some social issues. The lioness ate the lion.
Actually, it's not an eye roll. I think it's a
It's like she can't handle the discussion.
Like, not that I'm not capable of, you say I can't handle it, and I feel like sometimes, like...
What do you mean? I didn't say you can't handle it like you're incapable of handling it. It's just too stressful for you to talk about.
I don't want to handle the discussion.
Exactly. I
It's
mean,
not
who
that I
does,
can't.
really?
I guess I don't like that word can't, because I am capable.
You're capable of handling anything.
Can't means not
But
capable.
who needs the stress, you know? That's why I hang out 4 hours a night and just play, you know, fun music and
I
stuff.
would say I don't like the discussion, rather can't handle.
Well, I don't like anything. I'm sorry I said that you can't handle it. It obviously was the wrong wording, and it didn't mean to offend you.
Thank you.
It's not like you're incapable of handling it. It's just you don't want to bother with all the stress of reality. I get that.
That's true.
She's dealing with the reality of everyday work and taking care of kids. She doesn't want to come home to some story about dead elephants and dead lions and whatnot. Could we have a night without political talk? Sure. Yeah. Let's try to do that right now. This is supposed to be a social issue tonight. We can talk about... What's that?
For 5 minutes, maybe.
No, it's a social issue night, so let's not talk about politics. Let's talk about killing babies and what abortion is. Okay? Yeah. You can't handle the truth. Well, whenever I talk about Renee Zellweger being replaced, somebody puts a picture of a heroin addict in a grocery store, zoned out on juiced on something, and it's the funniest thing. A drugged out store clerk appears to fall asleep at the register. Yeah. Does this woman know she's being videotaped? Does this woman know she's being videotaped? I don't know. You know, I never meant to feel like Sarah's limited to what she can say in the show, but she feels like she's being told that she can't do something, like no, you're not allowed to do something. But what I was really saying is it's difficult for her to be stressed out after a long day. Most people want to just enjoy themselves. That's why you have the freedom to not have to think about it, Sarah, because others absolutely need to talk about politics. Thank you. You know, I started this show because Sarah didn't like me talking about politics. That's truly why I started the show. So that's why we're here today. So to not talk about politics is to ignore everything. She's very sensitive to the word can't, because she's able to do anything. But I've noticed that by not talking about politics, I feel like I'm unable to express myself, especially considering the ruling of no collusion was so off. In my mind, this was collusion all the way down the line, and to this day I can still cite numerous instances where Donald Trump is colluding. So I'm even more worried about our country, because I think that we're in the hands of foreign leaders who are more powerful than our country, that they've taken over the apparatus of our government. No, there's always been a rift between Sarah and I on our perception of the problem. She doesn't think there is a problem, and I think there are a lot of problems. And so many I can barely enumerate. So it's just a question of agreeing on the same ideas to fix the country, which we did agree on, and it's in our platform. And we also have a wonderful book written, Hybrid Capitalism Together. We stand behind these ideas, but our perception of the world has completely taken different turns over the years. I see a lot of the problems evolving, especially since I've interacted with the internet so much as I do every day. I'm seeing so much information gathering and sharing. You guys have given me a tremendous amount of information just through links. I never would have acquired so much information had I not done a show continuously for 10 years. So it's added to my depth of knowledge significantly, and I hope yours too. Sarah supports space and NASA, and she believes the whole story, and yeah. But whatever. I mean, I'm really iconoclastic, and I'm more than willing to look at NASA as being possibly faking us out. The photographs I've seen recently are just overwhelming to convince me that this is the case. Just checking to see if I had that. I didn't use any Vaseline in my hair, man. It just hasn't buffed out. I haven't been in the wind. Yeah, I have to be in the wind to get buffed, completely buffed. Take a look at this. How can you dispute this? You don't mind wasting your time on conspiracies. That's how I like to waste my time. Are you seeing the picture of him hanging from a tether? Are you seeing that? Do I have to blow it up for you? Draw a circle around it? Tom, my hair is looking good up until about 9 o'clock when I wear wigs. Yeah, you can't come in here and rag on my hair. Neither one of you can. You both get a 5-minute timeout. But that's clearly fakery right there. Well, I'm not going to sit back and watch all this fakery. And you see, if I wanted to sit around and talk to you about all the things that I think are really pretty and neat, which is fine, it wouldn't be very interesting for you. I think this is pretty screwed up, that they would hang this guy from a tether and claim he's floating in space. I feel lied to. I feel cheated. They lied to me. I feel cheated. I want to be, I want honesty from my NASA, especially considering we paid him about $500 billion over the years. Well, let's be clear. Obama gave him $17 billion a year. Trump's giving him $17 billion a year. Do the math. They're getting a lot of money for doing nothing. 153news.net. All right. This will be our tribute picture to Donald Trump. We'll play that on our shows now. The total collusion picture. And NASA, the Comedy Freemason Club. Oh, yeah. It is kind of a Freemason NASA thing. You're right. It's like a handshake with the Freemasons.
2028, the vice president says that's not good enough. That's also saying he will consider an all launch.
He's just walking around shaking everybody's hands. Pence also said we'll consider all launches. He's considering all launches. He wants to know why we can't get back to the moon in 5 years.
General John Raymond, the Space Force, will be responsible for carrying out military missions and possible combat in space.
Yep, it's a big Freemason handshake thing. Yeah, there's the Freemason handshake right there. See it? Yeah, it's possible that the Masons embedded themselves in our government along with the Zionists working together because they are supporting the same thing. Masonic lore ties directly into the Zionist cult lore. They're both hand in hand. The Masons predate the Zionists by about 4 or 5, well, if you include the Knights Templar, about 900 years. So Zionism may just be an offshoot of the original Masonic idea, too. It's possible. That is Pence, yeah. You don't mind being hung? What kind of a statement is that? What do you want to be hung? What's wrong with you, man? Roger Stone looks like Pence. They could be brothers. We don't need to talk about Juan Gabriel. I've already discussed the limitations on that homosexual man who died. He was talking about an imaginary guy who died. 2016, this openly gay guy dies, and he calls her a she, and that somehow she's communicating from the future. You're so wigged out, Pittoro. You're funny. You really are. And then he's got people, believing that he's a representative of the Vatican. God, are you out of it or what? See, this is not talking about politics. See, I can do that. I can just rag on Pittoro. Yeah, if you get a 44 Magnum, you can call me Dave Harry. Yeah, I just think it's funny that you think you're a representative of the Vatican and that you somehow believe that Juan Gabriel, a woman who's clearly a homosexual man who died in 2016, he's dead. Deal with it. That coffee reminds me of my grandfather's cup of coffee. He liked it really a stiff cup of coffee. He worked at a plantation for 10 years in Colombia. And he met this man named Juan, forget his last name, Juan Valdez. And they dedicated an actual bean to my grandfather. They call it the peaberry. If you ever get a peaberry, it's from my grandfather's strain that he drank when he was living down there in Colombia and Ecuador and Bolivia. He traveled throughout the whole region. He worked for a plantation owner. He basically was a manager. And very well known, too. But you'd have to be alive in the 19-teens and 20s to know what I'm talking about. None of you really remember that time period, do you? I doubt there's anybody here who remembers the 1920s. I know my chromosomes do, but... Yes, Juan Valdez is David Juan Valdez. Jim Carrey's brother? No, Jim Carrey's Jewish or Ashkenazi. I'm not. That's the difference. I am not a time traveler. I am here to help predict the future for you who are living here right now and have no idea what's going to happen next. I can read, it's like reading the tea leaves, but what I do is I take data in and anomalate, formulate, and extrapolate all information streams to give you forecasts of the future. Beep. Hold, please. We have a match. My goodness, look at this. There is a striking similarity between me and that guy who doesn't exist anymore. I think there's something going on with his girlfriend thing, you know? You heard about his girlfriend who got herpes? Dave, I told you not to talk about that. Dave, we've had an agreement. Dave, we had an agreement not to talk about my ex-girlfriend who died. Thank you. Oh, sorry, Jim. My hair is beautiful, isn't it? I just love this. This is how my hair wants to look. And I'm going to cherish this all the way to 9 o'clock when I put the wig on. Then I get to be something else. It's the best part of Wig Wednesday. No, it didn't take me 30 years to realize the Democrats are corrupt to the core. Hardly. No, we knew back then. You know, my dad and I, we talked so much about a third party and how corrupt the Democrats were. We talked about it back in the 60s. And until the Democrats began to become limousine liberals and drive around like Bill Clinton and act like he's in charge of the world, John Kerry profiting. Yeah. So a lot of people are tired of the corruption. It's been going on for years, steeping in America. It's not something I just learned. Exclusive. She's going to take all my money. Drunk Nicolas Cage makes a scene at Las Vegas courthouse while applying for a marriage license with his girlfriend. As actor bizarrely yells about her drug dealer ex-boyfriend. Wow. Nicolas Cage was filmed making a scene while applying for a marriage license with his makeup artist girlfriend Erica Cueca in Las Vegas on Saturday. I thought what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas on videotape. How come we don't have any video of this? Oh, we do.
What happens in Vegas in exclusive footage that you will only see on dailymail.com?
Okay.
Nicolas Cage was filmed making a scene while applying for a marriage license with his makeup artist girlfriend, Erica Koike. Take a look.
Drug dealer is a boyfriend. I'm not doing it.
All right, let's go to Natalie Trombetta in our last.
Natalie, what are we going to talk about? Another actor who's, let's divert our attentions from the Russian collusion thing anytime we can. Natalie, let's just take our mind off and talk about Nicholas Cruz. I know, far more interesting than the future of our country. I know, let's just focus on what Nicholas Cruz said in a drunken state. I mean, that's a big issue. Natalie, what do you think? He needs to sit with Keanu Reeves at a park bench, yeah. He needs to calm down, take a chill pill. I recommend joining the rest of us who are just in the pasture grazing